Hi there. Right, Chew Valley. Right, now's the most interesting one again, because we go to back to Waltham-on-Thames, Island Barn, and for the first time the Claridge boat showed how fast they are by Fred winning comfortably at Island Barn in Y751. The Island Barn reservoir is a Metropolitan Water Board facility, and I sailed there, I believe it was the following year that we were there with Y, and it was an invitation event organised by the Topper class. And it was very early in the year, and they called it the Top Dog event, and invited all the national champions, or those in the first few in the championship, to compete for their top dog, and it was all in toppers. So this particular Saturday it was held, we had the briefing in their club room there, and the chap from the water board said, well, we've got to insist, he said, it's the water board regulations. We'd had it in the pre-event cabins that you had to wear a full wetsuit, and it was one of these Saturdays in the spring when it was pretty much a heat wave with no wind hardly, so everybody was actually sweltering. Anyway, we all went out in wetsuits except one particular chap who happened to be from Broxbourne Sailing Club, and he was one of the Izzat brothers, David Izzat. At that time he was already winner of the World International Moth Championships on 3 occasions. Well, he and his family were always very, very renegade, and I've had to do quite a few polite interventions on behalf of the club due to their behaviour at certain prize givings. But David swore that he wasn't going to sail in a wetsuit, and he went out in shorts and a life jacket on, and that's all. And there were 3 races, and very late, and he won at least 2 of them, so not only did he win the event, but the Topper class had to cheat to give him a trophy after that. So I've always remembered that, and I think that ought to go down in history. Surprising, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't do bad, but still, never mind, that's another story. Right, where do we go after that? Well, Island Barn, Redmore. Following one we're at Chew Valley again, and this is interesting because there were 3 brothers racing from Warwick, and Warwick Sailing Club on the river there, which is quite a small narrow river, they had quite a few moths, and one of their members, Peter Davison, who was quite quick. I went up to their open meeting once and he won it, but I tumbled. What the trick was that he'd sit on the start line on the windward bank on starboard tack and jam his centreboard down in the mud and then let it go when the starting gun went. But anyway, the 3 Matthews brothers, their father and mother helping them tremendously. The oldest one was Peter, and Peter won the championships at Chew Valley that we went to that year in Gypsy Rose 474. And all those years ago, 1980 that was. Now here we are 32 years later, and Andrew Matthews has just won the Tomesis Open on the river.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's funny how people come back to moths after all these years, isn't it? So yes, I remember him saying that. That was very good meeting, that one. And prize giving was particularly good up in the club room at Chew Valley Lake. Splendid venue. After that, we went back to Keynes Park in the Cotswold Water Park again. And the monks were there and everybody else. The only thing wasn't the same place. Keynes Park we sailed in on a few years earlier, somebody pulled the plug and all the water had gone. But luckily the gravel company found another one that they finished with, and that still had the water in it, so they grabbed that. So that's quite, I don't think there can be another club that have had 2 national championships or 2 venues within 5 years. So anyway, that was a bit of a cat and mouse do there. There was Godfrey Clark and myself and Fred Monk, of course. And I think I won that championships at Keynes Park game, but I won it with a protest because Fred Monk had managed to sail up my backside just outside the club room in the final race. Now once again, great drama, big protest meeting. Rather strange, isn't it? Now from Keynes Park we go back to Broxbourne. I beg your pardon, we go back to Hunts again. And that was our 50th anniversary that year, and that was, I believe, when we first had the, I'm not sure, but I think we had the Teddy Hicks Memorial Trophy by then. So that was quite a good event, and that one was won by Freddie Monk, quite deservedly. He did very, very well. The prize giving was on a Saturday morning, I remember that well, and Fred had also started racing lasers, and just before the prize giving started, his father had arrived from Broxbourne carrying his laser on the roof rack of Fred's Renault 5 or something like that. And immediately after the event, the prize giving, young Fred left his dad to pack the moth away, jumped in the laser and drove up to Scotland all day and all night long to get to Helensburgh. And he took part in the Scottish Laser Championships on the following Sunday morning. We started calling him the Incredible Hulk then.
Yeah.
And he won the Scottish Laser Championships by winning the 2 Sunday races. Now how's that for a feat?
Yeah.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Well, that's absolutely gospel.